So we are doing law of sines. What law of sines is it is a way of finding information that is missing from any triangle. We have been doing all this sine, cosine, tangent stuff with right triangles. The law of sines you can use on any triangle. So non-right triangles are called oblique. So you either have a right triangle or you have an oblique triangle. You can have an acute triangle, you can have an obtuse triangle. But law of sines is something that works on non-right triangles. So we can find missing sides and missing angles by using law of sines. It's very easy to memorize. A over sine of A, B over sine of B, C over sine of C, or otherwise you could just fill them all. Sine of A over A, sine of B over B, sine of C over C. It doesn't matter which one you use. A, B, and C, when they are capital letters, they are the angles, just like in geometry. And when they are lowercase, they are the side lengths that are directly opposite their capital letter. So you'll see lowercase a is directly opposite of the uppercase A, capital A. And what's H? The height. H is the height. We can also, what we're also going to do today is find the area of a not right triangle when I don't know the height. Because normally area of a triangle is half base times height. So you'd need to know that height, but we're going to find the area without even knowing the height. All right, so our first example is an example where we have a triangle that the information given to us are two angles and a side not included in the angles. Do you remember AAS from geometry? Angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. So it is two angles and a side not included. Okay? You can use law of sines to solve all the missing sides. Let's set it up. We're going to start with lowercase a. Do we know the value of lowercase a? No. So we'll do a over, do we know uppercase A, the angle? Yes.
Where is it?
So if we took, let's find the measure of angle A. If we took 180 degrees and we subtracted the other two, we would get that the measure of angle A is equal to 49 degrees. So when you were doing these, you were finding all the missing information. So we just found the first thing we needed to find, the angle A. And then we do sine 49 under side A. Do we know side B? Yes. So we put 27.4 over sine of, do we know angle B? 28.7. Side C, we do not know. We put that over sine of angle C. Now you just have to cross multiply wherever you can to solve for the missing information. So how can I solve for lowercase a? I can cross multiply a over sine 49 with which other fraction? B or C? B, because I have both pieces filled in already. So cross multiply here. I'm going to get A is equal to 27.4 sine 49 divided by sine 28.7. How do we find that answer? Calculator, plug it in. Those of you with those older calculators, you should really make sure you know how to plug them in correctly. If you don't have fractions on your calculator, make sure you know how to plug them in correctly. Try it. Actively participate. I'll put the answer up so you can check and make sure you're doing it right. So if you've typed it in correctly, you should get approximately 43.06 feet. for side A. Then we need to find side C. So what two should I cross multiply? Obviously the one with the C. But should I use A to cross multiply? Because I know what A is now. Should I use this one? Or should I use the B? Why? Because we don't know if we got A right. And because A is a rounded answer. So let's use the most exact that we can. We're going to cross multiply C with the B's. So we'll get C is equal to 27.4 sine 102.3 divided by sine 28.7. So make sure you know how to type it in correctly. Once we've done that, we have all missing sides and angles. We can go on to the next question. That's all I'm saying. We're going to take the rest of the time. Okay, well that's law of sines when we have angle side. That's law of sines when we have angle side. You will see it for the next example. It says now we're going to have angle side angle. And law of sines itself is not going to change. It's just what we have to do to solve for different parts might be slightly. So for this one, we are trying to find how tall is the pole. We're trying to find how tall is the pole. So when we look at our picture, what is our goal? We're trying to find what? What variable is it in picture one? We're trying to find lowercase a. So I know I'm going to be using a over sine, and do we know angle a?
43.
I know I'm going to be using that. This one doesn't say to find everything. So I don't need to find everything. I just need to find whatever I need to find so I can find side A. So do I have the side B and angle B, or do I have side C and angle C? I need both.
You can do side B. You can do angle C. You can do 90 plus 43 and minus 20.
Almost right. Yeah, we're going to do C, because we know C is 22. And we're going to do the sine of angle C, which we have to find by using 180, but you forgot something when you were talking. We're going to do 180, we're going to subtract off 43, and what's this angle right here? 98. 98? That's what you know. So what is angle C? So then you're going to cross multiply, solve it. Good. So I don't know if they, how much triangles they have on like ACT, SAT tests, but law of sines is certainly an easy way of finding missing information quickly if you needed it for one of those tests. And it's very memorizable. Memorizable? Or
Memorable.
It's easy to memorize. All right, so now, if you have, do you remember SSA from geometry?
Yes.
Right side angle.
Uh-huh. Do you remember?
Remember,
If you wrote it the other way?
angle side side.
That was, yeah, that was the one that you like could never use to prove triangles. Well, when we have this, let me wait, Michael. When we have the side-side angle case, you have to do a little bit extra work. See, when we have side-side angle case, because it doesn't give you enough information about the triangle. When you only know certain pieces, it doesn't give you enough information. So you have to like kind of figure out if the information you have actually even forms a triangle. Sometimes when you have SSA and they give you information, it will form no triangle and you won't do anything but write down this doesn't form a triangle. Sometimes it will form one triangle and you will do all the work like we just did. Sometimes it will form two triangles and you will have to solve for both triangles. Okay? I'm going to show you one example of each. And it already tells you which example it is, but I'm going to show you how to figure it out on your own. Because in the homework, it says you figure it out on your own. I'm not telling you which case this is. You have to figure it out. So you'll notice up here, we need to know if A is acute or if A is obtuse. Angle A. So we look at example 3. Is angle A acute or obtuse? Angle A is acute. The next thing we have to do is the necessary condition. We have to look at when A is acute, these first four. When A is acute, if A is less than the height, if A is equal to the height, if A is greater than B, or if A is in between the height and B. All right? Do we know the height of this one? Is that given, the H? Look at the information given. There's a picture drawn for you. Is the H given? Is the height given? We can find it. But we might not need to. Let's look at A and B first. A is greater than B. How many of these first four have A being greater than B? Only one of them. So it's definitely this one. The A value is greater than the B value, and that tells us that there's just one triangle. So once we know that, we're just going to use law of sines and go through the whole process. All right, let's do law of sines for this one. We know that there's just one triangle. Just use law of sines. All right, what is it? A is 22 over sine of angle A, 42. B is 12 over sine of, do we know angle B? All missing pieces. Everything. We do not, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, this is still the acute triangle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if it's an acute triangle. I just know that A is
but
acute.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. And then for C, we don't know C, and we also don't know angle C, so we'll do sine of C. So to cross multiply, we're going to cross multiply for sure 22 over sine 42. What are we going to cross multiply that with? Yeah, we're going to find angle B first. That would be you knowing when to use cross multiplication. We're going to find angle B first because that's the only thing missing right there. So I'm going to cross multiply that, and I'm going to get 22 sine B equals 12 sine 42. Now, you cannot divide by sine. You can divide by 22. So we get sine B equals 12 sine 42 divided by 22. You cannot divide by sine. And for the past few weeks in here, you have been finding things like an angle when you knew the sine of that angle. How do we find angle B when you know the sine? Say it. You do inverse sine. So on your calculator, you're going to do inverse sine of 12 sine 42 divided by 22. The 4 lines. Okay, does anybody need help with the calculator on this? I had people doing it, some people needed help with their calculator earlier today. Does anybody need help with their calculator on this one? Sure you ask so I can come help you on your particular calculator. That tells me that B is, what did I just say, 21.41. So now what can we find? The other angle is C, right? Let's find the other angle. We're going to take 180, we're going to subtract off 42, and we're going to subtract off that last answer. And on my calculator, I'm going to use the answer so I don't have to round it and I don't have to type it all in. Remember, you can use this answer button. Answer. Are you doing this on your calculator? You already know what I said.
I'm trying to do both, but I guess.
So typing this in, what should we get? 116.59. 116.59. 116.59 goes right here. Okay, the last thing we need to do is find side C. So I'm going to cross multiply this, but what should I cross multiply it with? Not B. Let's use A because A were values that we were given and not rounded. So let's use A and C to find C. So we'll do 22 over sine 42 is equal to C over sine of that angle that we just got. If that angle is the last thing on your calculator, then you would use the A and S button on your calculator. I will write it like how I would type it in my calculator. So we're going to cross multiply this, and you're going to get C is equal to 22 sine, that's where my answer goes, divided by sine 42. So you use your last answer. You're not having to round anything. You're going to get the most accurate answer possible. And you should get 29.400. I don't know what else is up. 4007. So it's really close to. And I think it's feet. Is it feet? Oh, Question? Where's your 32?
22 to the less.
It should be, this answer should have been that 116.59 that we had previously. So whatever your last thing that you did was not the last thing I did.
You should write.
All right. It's coming along. I told you that we might have to have some patience for this.
more do we have? The whole thing?
No, that's Friday's notes in there too.
We only have 3 more.
Okay, so the next one, they've already told you what's going to happen, but let's figure out how you could do it on your own without knowing that this is gonna be no triangle. So it says, show that there is no triangle for which A is 15, B is 25, and A is 85 degrees. So you can start by drawing what this could possibly look like. Angle A is 85 degrees, and try to follow the way that they've set up the triangles every time where the A, the B, and the C are. If you look at the previous examples, they're always in the same spot. The book did not make it difficult. They didn't give you different letters. They stayed with A, B, and C the entire time. All right? So if you just keep setting it up the same way, it'll be easier for you. All right, so 85 degrees is angle A. That's almost 90. Pretty steep angle. Side B is 31. Across from angle A is side A, which is 12.
Wait, what's in that question?
Yep.
Why is he saying what's the difference there?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the next example. Thank you for stopping me sooner than later. What's B? B is 20.
Yeah, 25.
25. And then A is 15. What you don't know is what is happening over here at angle B. Like, that's what you don't know. Can't really finish the picture until we have more information. So this is where we're going to use that chart again. Question?
No, that's not a triangle, because I thought like A could be greater than B. Or does that indicate a triangle?
I think there's 2 possibilities.
Oh.
But let's go look at that chart. So looking at A and B before I look at the chart, looking at A and B, A is less than B. So now I'm going to go look at that chart. Oh, and angle A is what? Is acute. So we're going to look at this chart. A is acute, A is acute, A is acute, A is acute. First 4. And then necessary condition. What did we say? A was less than B. All right, so it is not this one. The other 3 choices have something that involves H. So we have to find H to figure out which one it is. You look up here, there's a formula for H. It says just do B sine A. Just do lowercase b sine angle A. And then you have H. That is the height of the triangle. B sine A. So for this triangle, 25 sine 85. So on your calculator, 25 sine 85. What do we get? Okay. So 24.9. How does that compare to A? So A is less than H. So you look at your chart. A is less than H. A is not equal to H. H is not less than A. It has to be this one. There cannot be a triangle formed, so we are done. I would give you the chart. I will not give you the law of sines.
So we would have to. Oh, never mind.
So I don't have to do anything now. I'm done. So you have some on your homework where you just have to test, and if they don't work, then you move on to the next question. Yes?
So are all SSA no triangle?
No, the first test we've done 2 SSAs so far. This was the first SSA. This is the second SSA. Now we're going to do the third SSA. And they've already told you what we're going to have, but you have to understand how to figure that out when you don't know ahead of time. All right, you ready for this? This is the one that's going to take most of the period. You ready?
Oh.
No, it's not. Kind of though. All right. Find 2 triangles, which A is 12, B is 31, and angle A is 20.5. So angle A is 20.5. That's a pretty skinny angle. Side B is 31. And side A is 12. We don't know anything about angle B. We don't know anything about side C. So how does A compare to B? A is less than B. All right? So we go to our chart. And angle A is acute. So we go to our chart. Angle A is acute. Angle A is acute and A is less than B. So I know it's not this one. So what do we need to find? We need to find H. So H is B sine A. The height is B sine A, 31 sine 20.5. So you should get that the height is approximately 10.86. How does that compare to A and compare to B? H is less than A, which is less than B. So that tells us in our chart that we're going to have 2 triangles. Okay, so organizational purposes for staying organized. Half it. Draw a line down the middle. Let's do one on one side, one on the other, because you got to find both. And if we do kind of like the same stuff in the same order, it'll be organized and you'll be able to follow your work later. If it's just everywhere, you won't be able to follow it. So I'm going to try to draw a line here. Zoom out for a moment. That's good. Okay, our 2 choices would be that, let's see, B is acute, or angle B is obtuse. So these are the 2 triangles you're going to get. You're going to get one angle where B is acute. You're going to get one where B is obtuse. Angle B being acute is going to give us a triangle that looks like this. When angle B is obtuse, it's going to give us a triangle that looks like this. But angle A can be 20.5 in both of these triangles. Side B can be 31 in both of these triangles. And side A can be 12 in both of these triangles. So that information does not change. Yes? Is that because what?
Like, is it because it's given to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to use law of sines, and we're just going to work on one side to start. Let's do it on this side. Let's see. A is 12 over sine 20.5 equals B is 31 over sine, I don't know, angle B equals, I don't know, C or angle C. So what should we solve first? Angle B. So we'll cross multiply there. Let me change color. We're going to get that sine B is equal to 31 sine 20.5 divided by 12. That was me cross multiplying really fast. That's going to give me inverse sine of whatever that answer is. Okay. For now, if you do not want to actively engage yourself in typing in the calculator, I'll help the process along at that point. If you want to practice on the calculator more, please feel free. But I don't want you to be typing and I'm going on. I don't want you to miss out on anything. So if you type in sine inverse of that fraction, you should get 64.78 degrees. So that would be angle B. That's one of our answers. So then from there we can find angle C. How do we find measure of angle C? 180 minus 20.5 minus 64.78. And you should get 94.72. And then to find the C, we're going to use the C over sine C, and I'm going to use the first fraction, 12 over 20.5, for cross multiplying. Oops. 12 over sine 20.5. Okay, I would again encourage you, instead of typing in 94.72, I would encourage you to use answer from before, so you don't have to round it. Use the answer button on your calculator from before when you type that in. And then you should get that C would be 34.15. See, that's not bad at all, is that? You just have to do it all again. Almost all again, not totally all again. I'm just waiting for people to catch up before I show you the other side. Can you read?
Yeah.
So I'm not suggesting you leave right this second. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing if B was obtuse. But what's nice is we know what B is if it's a cube, and we found that using sine. You guys remember when we did sine before, and like sine is positive in 2 quadrants? It's kind of the same thing. How do I find that angle? If I know this one, how do I find that one? I'm going to take whatever angle B was over there, just take it away from 180, and we'll have our new angle B, our obtuse angle B. We'll just call that measure of angle B2 is approximately 115.22. Questions how I got my new angle B? So that's my new angle B. How do I find my new angle C? (180 minus 115.22 minus 20.5, the original A. You subtract it from 180, we're going to do all the same work now with different values. So C should be 44.28 degrees.
Were you using the original one when you subtracted it?
For this one?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to use B2.
Up there. Above.
Oh, yeah, that one came from the original angle B.
Okay.
Let me,
So 180 minus angle B2 minus the angle A is C2.
I'll write it. Yeah, we took 180 degrees, we subtracted off that 20.5, the original A, and then we subtracted off our new B. That's how we got our new C. And then how do we find our new lowercase c? Same thing that we just did. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to do 12 over sine 20.5 because A didn't change at all. You're going to do lowercase c over sine new c, 44.28. So new c goes in there. Let me cross multiply. 12 sine 44.28 divided by sine 20.5 gives us new c 23.92. Delightful, right? We can handle this, you just gotta stay organized. And I did not give you like 7 questions like that. Maybe one, okay? All right, we have one more example to do and then you'll have the rest of time to work on your assignment. Okay, so you remember area of a triangle is a half base times height. If you don't know the height, how are you going to do half base times height? How can we find the height? How can we find the height of a triangle if you don't know the height? So because we can find the height, B sine A, you can find the area of any triangle. Even if you don't know the height, you can find the area of any triangle. There are 3 different formulas up here. Area is equal to, you could do 1/2 BC sine A, you could do 1/2 AB sine C, or you could do 1/2 AC sine B. It just depends on the information that they give you. But I'm gonna simplify this. It's a half, the 2 sides, multiplied by the sine of the included angle. That means the angle between the 2 sides. So you would need to have side angle side to do this. You would need to have side angle side to do it. It's a half side times side multiplied by sine of the included angle. That means the angle in between the 2 sides. That's the entire formula. So half 52 times 90 sine 102. And you can go ahead and calculate that. Half 52 times 90 times sine 102. Michael?
Do you want an answer?
Sure.
2,288.87.
Remember, area is squared, so when you write your units, meters, squared for area. told you, delightful, right? That's it. Alright. So our assignment is in the book. I'll put the assignment up in just a moment. It's up here. It's in the book. There are plenty of books around the room. You also have that review worksheet that you've already done 1 through 8 on, if not more. And if you do want the new assignment sheet, like if you want me to put it up later, I will. The changes, if you didn't get that earlier.